everyone, welcome back for another video. In this video, I am going to talk about my new snowmobile. So I bought one of the new Arctic Cat catalysts. I bought the Riot package. I actually ordered this last year, so I ordered this last spring, April of 2023, and was not really sure. You can only get this in a 600 the first year. I do have an Arctic Cat 800 back there and a ZR900, so I thought for most of the ride we'd do a 600 would be fine, so took a chance, wanted the new chassis, give it a try, so here we go. So I ordered this from John's Performance out of Carey, Ohio. We don't have a lot of Arctic Cat dealers here in Ohio, but he is a good one. It's where I bought my 21 sled at and bought parts from him for many years, so good dealer. But hey, let's dive in and have a look here. So the Arctic Cat Riot is a crossover sled, so it's a 146-inch long track with 1.75-inch lugs. The Riot also has the wider skis, the mountain skis on it. Now the reason I bought a crossover sled is I do some riding out in the Rockies out west. My youngest son Andrew does live in Utah, so I go riding out there a couple times a year. Now he has a couple mountain sleds that I can ride, but it is good to have that option to have something I can ride both places. Can't really justify having a mountain sled here with Michigan. There's too many trails and stuff like that. I just don't see the need to have a 2.5 or 3-inch lug track for here. These do all right out in the mountains. They're definitely not a mountain sled, but they are good and will get you. You can have a lot of fun out there with them. So with that said, that's why I picked the Riot. So since I got it home here, I did add a tunnel bag to the back here with a shovel, and I also added the front bumper here, so I really like that. But the Riot does have a 39-inch wide ski stand, so it's a little bit wider than the mountain sled here. But overall, the color, it's a great looking sled here. I really like this. When I ordered it last year, you couldn't really tell how pretty this color was until I got it, but good looking color here. So this does have electric start on it. The electric start does come standard on the Riot, so it's pretty much just a matter of the key on, kill switch up, fire it up. Also does have a cord here or a plug here for a helmet heater, so when I do ride in Michigan, I do wear a heated face shield and wear the cord. When I go out west, I just have my 509 goggles on that are heated. But they did put a pretty nice storage compartment on here, and it does have a 12-volt accessory plug inside, so that's pretty nice. And then the gauge is the same gauge that I have on that sled over there, so I'm familiar with that. But let's go ahead and talk about a couple other things here. So this does have the ATAC suspension on it, so you can adjust the suspension on this sled on the go. Now, as I'm talking about this, I have not played with that yet. We've not had a lot of snow this winter, but anyways, let's start here by taking the panels off. One of the biggest things for the new Catalyst series is the belt drive. So they did away with the chain case here, so we now have a belt drive on here. So that's pretty nice. That saves some weight and everything else. Of course, you don't have oil, chain to tighten up and stuff like that to watch. So got the big exhaust right here. We'll probably be putting an aftermarket can on here eventually. And then, of course, our injection oil right here. I'll pop the other side off. Nothing really to show you over here other than this does have a different primary clutch than my 21 Arctic Cat has. Alright, so I've got this side off. So as you can see, you got your clutches over here. So this is a different primary clutch than what the other sled had. I think them have a team clutch on, which I've never had any trouble with. And this is a different style here. So with the side shields off, you can actually just lift the hood completely off this thing. Got a couple little keepers here, one on each side. And then down inside here, there's a little lock, which is a little tough to get to with this mountain bumper on. Just barely get my big hands in there to turn that. Actually, it might be easier if I just take a pair of pliers in here. There. All right, took a little bit of wrestling here, but the whole hood comes off, and then just got one plug right here. And there's a look with the hood off, and then they do put a compartment here to put an extra drive belt under. And with the hood off, just have a look at the engine there. And see the 600cc C-Tech sitting down there with the power valves located up top. Looks like we got a couple fuses and relays right here. All right, I got the hood put back on here, just putting the side shields back on. So just sit this down in, slide it back, and then there's 3 different mounting or holders for it right here. And you want to make sure your clip for your hood, that actually has to be pointed down. The other thing that the Riots do have is they come standard with the scratchers on them. So if you're riding on a hard packed trail, need some snow to be thrown up in there, you got that option. Just for side-by-side comparison, I'll pull this sled over, we'll pull my 21 Riot up beside it, and we'll just look at the difference between the 2 sleds. All right, so you can kind of see a difference here between the new Catalyst chassis and this chassis here. Again, this sled is a 2021. I bought this sled brand new, so this will be the 4th winter for this snowmobile right here. It's been pretty good. I really like this snowmobile. I have not got to ride the 2 on the same day very much, but I can tell you, once you ride this sled, jump back on this one, you will definitely notice that you like the Catalyst chassis a lot better. Not that there's anything wrong with this, because like I said, I do like this snowmobile here too. And while we're doing this video, let's give my 2004 Arctic Cat ZR900 a little love, or a little spotlight in the video here. So if you want to think about this, 2024, 2004. So there's 20 years difference. Don't get to ride this snowmobile very often. I like it. It just don't get many miles on it, but I say I'm going to sell it, but it's really not worth much. It's worth more to me just to keep. It's a fun sled to have around just to take out for a spin when we do get snow. But as you can see, the last time it's been to Michigan was the winter of 2017. And for all those people out there dogging on Arctic Cat because Skidoo and Polaris had an 850 and Arctic Cat needs to get with it. Remember when Arctic Cat used to build 900s and 1000cc snowmobiles and everybody else only had 800s? Here you go. Now we'll jump over here. Of course, this sled has the handlebar bags on it, but if you look at the goggle bag, you want to call it right here, this has always worked. There's nothing wrong with this. It works great. It's just a soft one that you can actually remove compared to this one. The actual handlebar setup is the same with your kill switch here. Of course, you got your hand and thumb warmers, high beams. This button here, you can change things on the display, or you can just use your buttons here on each side. And then, of course, your start button or your reverse button. And then here is the plug I was talking about. If you're running a heated face shield on your helmet, you can just run a cord from here right up to your helmet. And of course the key and the tether, which I always do hook my tether up to my coat. It's a good idea to do that. I actually would not want a snowmobile without a tether switch, but these do come standard with them as far as I know. Also have it on this sled as well, and you can see, like I said, the handlebar controls are laid out the same. The only thing that's got me in trouble before is the kill switch being located right here. I know there's been a couple times when I've had this out west and I was climbing and I accidentally bumped that and killed the sled, and then I got stuck because of it. They do make, company does make a deal you can put over here, so it takes a lot of force to push down on this. I should get one. My son has them on his mountain sled and they do work pretty good. We did get a little bit of snow at home, so I was able to get this sled out and try it. My daughter's riding it right here. I'm riding beside her on my 800. But overall, she's put more miles on it than I did, but I do like the snowmobile. Handles really nice. I have not got to play with the suspension very much, but we did take a snowmobile trip out to Wyoming. So we was out in Albany, Wyoming. I did put a video of that on my YouTube channel already. She rode this sled the whole time when I rode the 800. And then I was out to Utah to visit my son. I did take this out to Utah as well. The first day I was in Utah, though, the snow was so deep, it was almost too much for this sled. It was too much for some of the mountain sleds, so I ended up riding his mountain sled most of that trip. But I was able to get this out on the trails and off the trails just a little bit. As I said a little bit ago, I did carry this sled out to Utah to ride with my son. It's not a mountain sled. It would not keep up with the Alpha, but for a crossover sled, I think it did pretty good. The snow was pretty deep on day number 1 out here, so I ended up switching over and riding his other mountain sled. And then, of course, my daughter and I took our Wyoming trip. The video of that is up on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the sled, and for a 600, I think it's got a lot of power. And that's a look at my new Arctic Cat Catalyst Riot snowmobile. Now, if you've been paying attention to what Arctic Cat's doing, they did introduce a new 858cc motor, and that's available for 2025. Early orders did start. I've been talking to my dealer, so actually I did order a new 858 Riot for next year. It's going to be black and green, and I am going to add the G8 display to it. So that will not be here until probably next November, December, so we'll get that in some videos next year, hopefully. But my 2021, I'm either going to be trading it in or selling it at the end of the season here. We'll just see what happens. Nothing wrong with it. I just really don't need 4 snowmobiles. Really don't need 3, but that's the way it goes. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. And like I said, I hope to get these out and make some more videos. We're planning a Michigan trip here end of February, as long as it snows there again, or was even talking about going up into the Northeast. And then of course we go out to Wyoming the end of March for the hill climb. But normally I just ride one of my son's other mountain sleds when I go out there for that. But I have taken 2021 out there a couple times in March, and it's great out in the mountains, especially for spring riding when the snow's set up. So we'll just see what happens. Maybe we'll have both these out there. Stay tuned for that. And again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.